Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Liwei JING from Capital Medical University, Beijing, China. I'm very honored to be here to share our study, and thank you for Professor Angela Leung's invitation. First of all, I'd like to introduce our team. Focus on lifelong healthy. Our college established a Department of Geriatric Health and Nursing. At the same time, we established teaching and research section at 10 affiliated hospitals respectively. And we work together on teaching and research related to healthy aging. In March of this year, with the support and guidance of National Health Commission and Beijing Municipal Health Commission, we established Chinese Institution of Healthy Aging Center, Beijing. And the center focuses on researching, training, and policy making related to management of chronic disease, long-term care, dementia care, palliative care from the perspective of internal ability, external function, and environmental support, etc. The current based on the newly established center, we are very welcome extensive communication and cooperation with domestic and foreign counterparts to promote the process of healthy aging. In terms of today's topic, I'd like to share it from the following three aspects. The first is, what is UDD? According to ICF, urinary function refers to the ability to discharge urine from the bladder, while bowel function refers to the ability to expel waste materials and undigested food in the form of feces. Impairment on either of these functions is classified as urination and defecation dysfunction, UDD for short term. So where did our research topic come from? In 2023, our team was approved a project of the National Key R&D Program. And my team undertook the first part, and we got 1.7 million RMB financial support. The project focuses on the needs of the bedridden disabled elderly for UDD care, and the multidisciplinary team cooperated together in the research and development of rehabilitation and nursing care robots and systems. In the project applications stage, we searched the literatures and found that the current research lacks authoritative and systematic studies on the current situation of the occurrence of UDD in Chinese mainland. So, however, the care of UDD is an important and necessary health problem related to the elderly, as we can see here, whose ECHO model places high importance of UDD, especially urinary incontinence. However, the care burden for urinary retention, fecal incontinence, and constipation is equally heavy. So we searched the studies. We found some important studies here. The first one is from Journal of BMC Geriatric. The research focused on the prevalence and factors of urinary incontinence in women worldwide. The results shows that the prevalence of urinary incontinence in women worldwide is 37.1%. And three studies of them are from China. The prevalence is from 2020% to 54%. However, the sample size are small. The sample size is between around 200 to 500. So which doesn't provide a complete picture of UDD. The second one is from another journal, and the result shows that the combined prevalence of constipation was 18.9% globally, with 5 studies from China ranging from, the prevalence ranging from 5.1 to 35.8%, but the sample size still small, ranging from nearly 700 to nearly 3,000. Also, the influencing factors include age, obesity, etc. But the main shortcomings are that the sample size is small and the regions is mainly focused on cities like Beijing and Shanghai. They cannot show the full picture of the UDD. In addition, the study design is also cross-sectional. And also we found the third study here. It shows, as it shows here, that globally the combined prevalence of fecal incontinence was 8%. With 3 studies from China ranging from 0.4% to 12.3%, and the sample size between 1,000 to nearly 30,000. But the main disadvantage is that only the survey is carried out on community adults, and the influencing factors are not investigated here, so which cannot comprehensively reflect the characteristics of the elderly population. And regarding UDD prevalence on disabled elderly, as you can see here, the first bar shows that 53% of them, of 24 million disabled elderly, 53% of them were combined with urinary incontinence, and 23% with urinary retention, 11% of them with fecal incontinence, and 34% with constipation. So however, in terms of the normal elderly population, we still lack studies on the, we still need to do further studies. So the current studies of risk factors on UDD, it shows that increasing aging is a well-recognized risk factor, and some risk factors such as chronic medical conditions, medications, and so on may have a great effect as aging. And other risk factors such as obesity and sedentary behavior may have implications for prevention and treatment decisions, but still unclear. And the research design has limitations. Most of them are cross-sectional study, unable to causal relationships between risk factors. Therefore, I'd like to introduce the research on UDD prevalence and risk factors based on CHARLS. So we had 2 purposes. The first purpose is to describe the epidemiological characteristics of UDD on middle-aged and elderly in Chinese mainland. And the second purpose is to explore the risk factors associated with the severity of UDD. So this is the method. Because of the time limits, I will introduce it in brief. So there is a question in CHARLS items. That is, do you have any difficulties with controlling urination and defecation? The participants respond, I have difficulty, or I'm not do it. I cannot do it, were identified as having UDD. And also we enrolled 2011 participants who were enrolled in 2011 and were continuously followed up in 2013, 2015, 2018, and 2020. We built a cohort study for risk factors analysis. And this is data collection and correlation. This is the identification of outcomes. What I want to say here is that the study, according to the severity of the UDD, all participants were divided into 4 groups. Group A, participants with who have never experienced UDD. Group D, with UDD in 1 or 2 consecutive surveys without recurrence. And the group C is in 1 or 2 consecutive surveys experienced UDD but recovered later, but eventually experienced recurrence. And group D is experienced UDD in 3 or more consecutive surveys. So this is a flowchart of participants' inclusion and exclusion and grouping diagram. And this is the statistical analysis. So I will go directly to the results. So in terms of UDD incidence and prevalence from 2011 to 2020 in China mainland, we can see that the incidence from UDD from 2013 to 2020 were 2.68%, 3.50%, and 3.68% and 4.55% respectively. You can see this in figure 2. And also this line shows an upward trend. That means the incidence was becoming serious. And also the incidence of UDD among middle-aged and elderly participants slightly increased from 2.6% to 4.4% across the 4 surveys in China. And also the prevalence of UDD from 2011 to 2020 were 4.39%, 4%, 4.69%, 4.72%, and nearly 5% respectively, which is similar to previous studies. That means that the prevalence of UDD in China similar to studies already published. And also, this is the characteristics of UDD prevalence from 2011 to 2020. By gender, we can see slow growth over the past 10 years, with the female had higher prevalence than male. And also by education, remained basically stable across the decade in China. We can see here, low illiterate participants had higher prevalence than other categories. So by analyzed by marital status, we can see that all lines remain basically stable across the decade, but married group had higher prevalence than other categories. And by residence, we can see that all lines slowly rose over the past 10 years, with the participants living in rural areas having higher prevalence than other counterparts. So this slide shows that the prevalence of UDD gradually increased. As you can see, the ages are listed here. age group are listed here, increased with age over the decades, particularly among those aged 66 here years and above. They had higher prevalence than overall prevalence, and also the prevalence of 4 groups aged 66 years and above slightly increased, while the figures for the 4 younger groups under 65 here, they are shown here. Years and under 65 years old were almost stable during 10 years of surveys. So this slide shows that the prevalence varied significantly across different regions over the years, where the prevalence in the southwest region was consistently higher than that of other regions. Both the southwest and the northwest regions saw increasing prevalence of UDD in the past 10 years. And this slide shows the risk factors. There are 3 common risk factors were identified across the 3 groups. This is group A, group B, C, and D. Group B, you can see here, for UDD recovered, group C UDD recurred, and group D for UDD persisted. So the common risk factors were identified across the 3 groups, including older age, depression, and arthritis, here. It shows here. And the conclusion is that the prevalence of UDD increased with age and was found to be higher among illiterate individuals, married individuals, rural individuals, and those living in the southwest and the northwest regions. And depression, arthritis, and rheumatic diseases can contribute to the occurrence, recurrence, and persistence of UDD. And being underweight or obese independently affected the persistence of UDD. So the recommendations are as follows. In order to alleviate the status of incontinence and incidence and prevalence of UDD, more attention should be paid to women, Western China, and the rural area, and also increase the awareness of health education regarding UDD, alleviate the stigma by patients, and improve their self-reporting rates. And for the risk factors of UDD, we recommend that healthcare providers should adopt age-specific care protocols for UDD patients, implement policies that ensure the inclusion of mental health services in UDD prevention and treatment, and also ensure attention to whether UDD patients have arthritis or rheumatism, and also launch community-based campaigns that promote healthy eating and active living, targeting BMI management as a way to prevent or alleviate UDD. So thank you for our team and the support of the project. And thank you for our cooperating teams. So
yeah,
that's all. Thank you for listening.